Welcome back, brave souls, to Sinister Snapshots, where nightmares come to life and darkness lurks. Join us if you dare as we begin a new journey with the Warrens into the dark world of evil and cursed objects. Kindly leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our dark adventures as we explore The Conjuring. The movie begins as paranormal experts Ed and Lorraine Warren give a lecture on a doll, Annabelle, who was a conduit for a demon. The next scene shifts to the Peron family, comprising of Carolyn, Roger, and their 5 daughters as they move into their new home, a seemingly idyllic farmhouse in Rhode Island. The family's dog Sadie refuses to enter the house, sensing an unsettling presence within the walls. One of the daughters, April, finds an old music box under a tree and takes it inside. While playing a game, the girls accidentally break a board. Roger checks it out and finds a dark storage room with an old piano and other antiques. The next morning, Carolyn finds bruises on her leg and she notices that all the clocks stopped working at 3:07. April finds Sadie dead outside. The next scene shows Ed with a reporter in his basement, where he stores all cursed items. He tells the reporter that all the items in there are cursed or are vessels for witchcraft. He also tells him about the Annabelle doll. At the Peron house, as everyone sleeps that night, Cindy, who is a sleepwalker, ends up in Andrea's room and continuously bumps her head on the wardrobe. Next morning, Carolyn sees more wounds on her back. Carolyn, who was home alone with April, finds her having a conversation with someone, but she doesn't see the person. Then April asks her mother to play hide and clap with her. While playing, Carolyn goes to Andrea's room to search for April. The wardrobe door opens up and a pair of hands reach out and clap. April then calls for her mother from outside the room. This surprises Carolyn, so she checks the wardrobe but finds no one. Later, Christine feels a strong pull on her leg. She sees someone behind the door who threatens to kill her and her family. Nancy, who is in the same room, doesn't see anyone. They can perceive the foul odor. Christine tells the family about her experience. Carolyn, who now has many bruises all over her body, hears children playing and goes to check, believing it to be her children. She finds the kids asleep and suddenly the pictures start falling off the walls by themselves. Carolyn then hears a girl playing and follows the sound. As she gets close to the basement, the door opens. She goes in, but a sound scares her, and when she tries to run out, the door closes. Carolyn falls down the stairs and a ball is thrown from a storage pile. Scared again, she tries to run out, but the light bulb explodes, making the room dark. Carolyn lights a match, and we see a pair of hands clapping behind her. Meanwhile, Cindy is sleepwalking again and ends up in Andrea's room, hitting her head on the wardrobe again. Andrea puts Cindy back to bed when the wardrobe door opens. Suddenly, she sees the ghost of a girl who attacks them. Roger gets home and hears screams. He gets Carolyn out of the basement and then rushes upstairs to find their kids. The family is beyond terrified. At a university, Ed is teaching about paranormal occurrences and Carolyn is in the audience. After the lecture, Carolyn goes to Ed and his wife. She asks them to visit her home. At the house, Roger and Carolyn narrate their experiences and they are told that their stories indicate the presence of a demon. Lorraine goes into the basement and realizes that something is wrong. She questions Carolyn while Ed records them. Lorraine asks April about her invisible friend, and April hands her the music box. While holding it, Lorraine notices the spirit of a child named Rory. Lorraine goes to the tree where April found the music box, and she sees the apparition of the spirit haunting the family. Lorraine reveals that a powerful demon has gotten stuck to the family. Even if they were to move out, the entity will be there with them. Ed talks about an exorcism, but they need permission from the church. Lorraine tells the history of the house. The man who had built the farmhouse had married a woman named Bathsheba, who practiced black magic. She had sacrificed her newborn and then hung herself on the tree when her husband caught her. A number of deaths had occurred ever since around the house, including Rory's and his mother in the basement. During their conversation, they hear a ghostly voice in the recording at exactly 3 minutes 7 seconds. The next day, the Warrens, accompanied by Assistant Drew and a police officer named Brad, return to the Peron home to gather evidence. They set up various surveillance equipment, including video recorders, tripwires, thermostats, and audio recorders. That night, Ed strategically places crosses throughout the house to provoke the spirit. It proves effective as the basement door opens on its own. Ed, Lorraine, and Brad head downstairs to investigate, but they only capture audio of thumping and doors slamming. The next morning, Roger takes the girls out while Carolyn rests due to feeling weak. The Warrens help out around the house. While Lorraine is folding laundry, a mysterious gust of wind and dark clouds appear, revealing Bathsheba standing at the window. Startled, Lorraine rushes inside. While asleep, a handprint materializes on Carolyn's arm, causing her to wake up screaming. Bathsheba manifests and distressingly makes her presence known by vomiting into Carolyn's mouth. Lorraine checks on Carolyn, who claims to be fine but slightly nauseous. It is revealed that Lorraine had disturbing vision during a past exorcism, leaving her traumatized and silent for 8 days. During another attempt to gather evidence, Brad hears whispers outside and sees a ghostly woman in a maid's dress with bleeding wrists. The ghost disappears when others soon arrive. Cameras capture Cindy sleepwalking, but Ed believes she is guided by a spirit. In Andrea's room, the door slams shut, and the group rushes to find Cindy. They hear Rory's voice on recording equipment guiding her. Ed discovers Cindy hiding in a secret room inside the wardrobe, where Rory apparently likes to hide when scared. After pulling out Cindy, Lorraine enters the opening and finds a rope leading to another opening. Pulling on it, something breaks off and it's revealed the rope was a noose with a body attached. Lorraine discovers a horrifying scene in the hidden room. She falls into the basement and, using a mirror, sees 2 spirits, one holding a knife over a bloody crib, claiming she was forced to do it. Another spirit points to the corner of the basement. The body of the hanged woman chases Lorraine, but she manages to escape to the top of the stairs. She warns Ed and the others that the demonic entity possesses the mother first, leading her to harm her own children, just as it is happening to Carolyn. As Lorraine reveals this, the crosses around the house fall and Nancy is violently thrown across the room by an unseen force. Nancy is then violently dragged across the floor by her hair, but Lorraine manages to free her with scissors. Drew confirms he was able to record the incident. The following morning, Ed informs Roger that they will send the footage to the church for review, and once approved, they will return with an exorcist. Before leaving, Lorraine hears her daughter Judy's voice and has a vision at the lake, sensing a warning. Lorraine calls her mother to check on Judy, who assures her that everything is fine. Later, Ed and Lorraine meet with a priest to review the footage, but the priest hesitates to approve an exorcism due to the children not being baptized and the family not belonging to the church. The Warrens insist, and the priest reluctantly agrees to try his best. At the Warrens' home, Judy encounters a supernatural presence and finds Annabelle, the doll, out of her case. Judy is terrified and calls for her parents. Outside, the Warrens hear her screams and rush in to find Judy trapped in her room. Ed breaks down her door just as a chair comes flying across the room. Ed discovers Annabelle still in her case in the basement, questioning the possibility of her involvement. After arriving at the motel where the family is temporarily staying, Roger learns that Carolyn left with the girls smelling like rotten meat, and he informs the Warrens. They realize that Carolyn is possessed and will try to kill the girls. Rushing to the house, they find Carolyn trying to attack Christine, while terrified April goes missing. They attempt to take Carolyn to an exorcist, but the entity prevents her from leaving the house. As they chase Carolyn to the basement, she fiercely resists them. In the struggle, she injures Brad by biting his cheek. Lorraine and Roger manage to restrain her temporarily. Realizing they don't have enough time to wait for an exorcist, Ed volunteers to perform the exorcism, but he asks Lorraine to leave. She refuses, leading to an argument between them. Lorraine convinces Ed and they prepare to perform an unauthorized exorcism on Carolyn. Upstairs, Drew finds April under the floorboards. In the basement, the exorcism causes chaos as Carolyn is lifted in the air and the chairs flip upside down. During the exorcism, the demon threatens that they will all die. Upstairs, Drew's shouts reveal April's location to the possessed Carolyn. However, Ed's intervention, using the name Bathsheba, causes Carolyn to cry out in pain. Lorraine and Roger appeal to Carolyn from the other side of the wall, helping her to fight the possession. Lorraine talks about memories that trigger Carolyn to expel the demon. The next morning, Carolyn's bruises vanish and the family celebrates their victory. In the final scene, Ed places Rory's music box in his museum when Lorraine mentions another case in Long Island. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't get left behind when we revisit the case in Long Island.